I am Jack Coffman, born and raised in Adamsville, Tennessee, here at the Buford Pusser Musem. Buford graduated 2 years before me. I graduated in 58 and he graduated in 56. And we knew each other but wasn't real close till Buford moved back and became chief of police in Adamsville, and we became close. And then when he ran for sheriff, I drove him the first day he ran for sheriff. I drove him. He went door to door. And I look now and see all this stuff, and it brings back a lot of memories. And in fact, there's stuff here that Buford gave me and a lot of stuff that me and Buford did together. And over in the corner, you'll see pictures of me and Buford and my brother. They were made in Paducah, Kentucky when Buford was in Paducah during the showing of the movie Walking Tall. And then there's another picture there in Paducah with Jack Kyler, which owned the theater in Paducah. Me and him and Buford in it. And then also over here I have a copy of the telegram that Buford called me one night. And I was living in Paducah at the time, and Buford called and told me that Bing Crosby had seen him on national TV, and they wanted to talk to him about making a movie about his life. And Buford thought they were kidding. He couldn't imagine anybody doing this. And of course then we didn't have cell phones. The only thing we had was just a regular phone. So Buford told him if they had anything to say to him, put it in writing. And so they sent Buford a copy of a Western Union telegram. He said, if I get anything, I'll send you a copy of it, Jack. And I said, okay. And so Buford, a couple of weeks later, I got a copy of the telegram telling about what they pay him and what they had in mind. And so I moved back home in 78, and the museum opened in 88. And I found the copy along with some other stuff that I had of me and Buford, and so I brought and gave the museum a copy of it. Also, there's an 8-track tape player here in the display case that was in the ambush car when Pauline was killed. And I was home and Buford was cleaning the car out, and he asked me if I wanted a tape player. And I said, Buford, I don't really need it. And he said, well, we're going to get rid of it. So anyway, I unhooked it from under the dash, and I remember it still had blood on it. And so I put it in a sack and kept it all them years. I moved back home, and when the museum opened in 88, I was going through some stuff, and I found it. And I never had used it. And so I brought it down to the museum, and they cleaned it up and put it in the showcase. Also, there's a picture of Deputy Jim Moffitt looking at the ambush car here in the showcase right after the ambush, and Jim standing there looking at it. And over by the side in the background is my father. My father was the State Game Fish Commission. He was a game warden, and it shows him standing there looking at the car. And me and Buford, everybody knew Buford. Buford had a lot of friends. I wasn't the only one, by no means, but we were close because he would come to Paducah and stay a week at a time. When the movie came out, he came and stayed a week. At that time, it was the largest movie ever been in Paducah, or I guess anywhere. And it was amazing to see people for blocks lined up waiting to get an autograph or trying to get in the movie. And Buford looked at me and grinned. He said, you believe this? And I said, no, I can't believe this. But I come home on weekends, and I'd come to the house. I'd come down the stairs here. And these stairs, I knew Buford slept with a pistol under his pillow. And I knew he had nightmares. And I'd come down these stairs, and I'd always make a little noise when I come down because I was afraid he'd have a bad dream and shoot me, and which is truth. And so I'd make sure he knew I was coming. But I'd come in and on weekends, and we'd ride together, and I'd ride with him to some of the, I call them joints, beer joints, and make a few rounds. And I learned real quick that when we go to these beer joints that I knew a lot of people here. My dad being game warden, so I got to thinking I might be over there sometime without him. And so got to where right off the bat I realized I better do something. So we pull up to one, and I tell Buford, I say, Buford, I'll go in, I'll sit down at the bar or something, and you come in. When you get ready to go, you motion, I'll meet you at the car. Because I was afraid he might do something, and next time I'd be over there without him, and they'd take advantage of me. So you learn real quick being around Pusser what you should do and what you shouldn't. And he was good at reminding you. But I have so many memories of this place, and I try to help the museum, I try to help the city, and that's the only reason I come by and do this. Because like I said, I've got a lot of memories and a lot of memorabilia of Buford's. I also have the gun here in the case that I have on loan, 357 Python. It's a beautiful gun, and it was Python. They made 49 of them, I believe, and this is number 41. And I just glad to see people come to the museum, and I'll be glad to help them, talk to them, whatever I can do anytime.